Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the very first episode of GNN for 2025. As always, we have a banner night on our hands here. But before we get into the details of our brand new mobile suit, let's go over some news. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we are. No subtlety at all from BB Studios, as our banner suit has been revealed as the RF Zaku from UC-123. Technically, it's a late UC suit from the Oldsmobile Army, a Zeon faction sitting on the planet of Mars, but we'll get into the details shortly because we also have a limited supply drop going on as well for the level 2 Metal Spider. So if you missed out on your chance to get this suit at all, you do have a chance to get the level 1 as well as the level 2 plus its subsequent weapons for the latter there. We do have some changes to the recycle ticket counter as follows, with the Bull G from Gundam Thunderbolt being added there. It is a 3-star general, as you might have noticed already for those that are unaware. Pretty useful and decent suit at 550. Don't let its appearance fools you. It is certainly still a beast at cost. We do not have any changes to the regular DP counter as well. We do have some changes to the situation battle, which will be the Black Gundam. And to kind of showcase here, this is a Zeta oriented based scenario. So you have the Gundam Mark II, 2 Rick DS's, and the GM2. I'm assuming this is supposed to be the Titans for Team A there. No, excuse me, I correct myself. That is the AUG there. And of course, the GM2s will have observational data links. So basically, they're going to be your support units there to kind of make sure what's going on, especially with all the action going on. And then TB is basically going to be representing the Titans, as you have a Mark II as well, 2 Hyzacs and GM2s. So this is going to be on Deserted City. This is a 5v5 during the week of January 16th and January 23rd. Of course, the first week will give you a Hyzac level 1 if you haven't gotten that already. It's a pretty cool unit at lower costs. Still kind of holds up at, for most part, but still fun. You also get a chance to get the Mark II at the second week, 500 costs, as well as some DP rewards. So pretty neat stuff. I wouldn't say it is mandatory, but if you like your suits and you want to fill out your hangar bays, it is pretty neat. So I believe the limited supply drop for the Metal Spider is a regular promotion, so no discount pulls for that one. But if you're lucky, well, we'll go over it. We do have details on the new RF Zaku, the Oldsmobile Zeon faction. This is a 600 cost general, 3-star, deployed by, as I mentioned before, the Oldsmobile Army, basically a Zeon faction based in Mars. It basically utilizes a lot of aesthetics from the old Zeon faction from back in the 1-year war, but appearances are very deceiving because this utilizes a lot of internals and innovations from the Gira Doga chassis, hence why this makes sense for it to be at 600 cost versus the Gira Doga, which is natively at 550. It does utilize a lot of the same weaponry that you would see with a lot of the Zeon forces at the time of the 1-year war, which includes the Zaku machine gun being essentially a beam rifle, but we'll get into the, again, details later because, the piping that you have there, all the external stuff, is all just for aesthetics. This is a suit that is, as expected, to be used on also ground and space. Also, if you do 10 pulls for this, you do get a chance to get the Zaku head mask for all you Zaku fans out there. So just bear in mind, really cool, but no, not mandatory. And as mentioned before, we have level 2 Metal Spider is here, and that'll be dropping into 450. So without further ado, let's get into the details there. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, here we are with the level 2 Metal Spider. Now, of course, this is a stripped down version of, well, my build, because there's nothing on it. It's basically has some tuning, but these are the actual stats. I do not have the level 2 specific weapons for this suit yet, but eventually that'll come with time. But we do have some stats. It does come with 14.5k HP. Now, if we are looking at in comparison to, say, a full tuned suit, let's go ahead and strip this out really quick. 13k versus 14.5 is not bad of a jump. We do see some changes with the ballistic and beam weapon resistance as expected. This is kind of meant to get in there as well in the opportunities that present itself. And also looking at the range strength, you know, it's a gradual jump too. It's a lot more noticeable here. And then I think both movement and the usual suspects are unchanged. So Vulcans have gone up a little bit. I think they're 130 right now, 120. So yeah, 10. I'm assuming 2k on the heat wire as well, 1800. Yeah, so they gradually go up a little bit. 2300 versus, I'm doing this a little quick here and skimming, 2100 there. I think this is going to be 1900 for the grenades. Oh, yeah, 17, 15, 500. That might be 700, I think. 525. Wow, the incendiary doesn't go up, but I think the... Oh, okay, 25 seconds, I think, is still the same here. Yeah. So, one thing I do notice, just to kind of throw things out there, we have AMBAC level 2, so this is going to be... I think it's still unchanged with the level 1, so that is unchanged, but what does change is that the Metal Spider level 2 gets MA level 2, so that's pretty neat. I think everything else is pretty much very similar aesthetic-wise and skill-wise to the 400 variant, the level 1, the native 400 there. Kind of checking. I think, yeah, it's pretty much the same. The only thing that I notice is the fact that it gets MA2 to kind of combat the more volatile suits that are at that cost range. So we'll see. If anything, I wouldn't be surprised if this is kind of like a bad joke of beta test there, but you know, we'll see, because like I know some people that are certainly a lot more talented than I am that could probably pull some work with this. But you know, considering the lower HP and the fact that it only has MA2 to kind of help it along, I don't know. We'll see. I think it could still pull work in that respective cost. All right. Jumping to 600, we are going to jump to our new suit here, the RF Zaku, which we'll go ahead and flip this over really quick so you can kind of see the native ranges here. We have 21,000 HP, 25s on its range defenses, both beam and ballistic there, with a 20 in melee, which if you look at the values, it does kind of give you some leeway to kind of tweak how you like it. Balanced values for both range and melee attack power. Movement side, looking at 135, 220, which looks like it's par for the course. The only reason why I say that is looking at my main suit here, 130, 220 there. Yeah, it's pretty much par for the course for a lot of suits of this range here. It does walk a little bit faster for some, but I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. And then a pretty decent thruster gauge of 70 with a good turning speed of 75. Whereas some of the other suits might be a little slower, some of them might be okay, some might be just around the alley. I don't know. It looks pretty good so far. Going into the custom parts range there, you got 16s on both close and medium, and about 12 for long range, which kind of gives you some flexibility. At least it's not some odds and ends unevenness with, like, say, all the points in long range and nothing else in close or medium. So yeah, not too bad. All right, going into the main rifle, we have the specific Zaku beam rifle. It's looks like a machine gun, but it's a beam rifle. 2400 base power, 8 shots, 350 meters effective range. It takes 2 seconds to charge, so this is very fast, with a 15-second reload time and 4.5-second cooldown time between shots. Now, it does burst fire based on the description. It still stuns on hit as well. Comes with a specific Heat Hawk. This is a 3-second cooldown time between swings here. So I guess don't miss for the most part. 2400 base power, which is pretty hefty, but kind of normal for the cost range. You know, everything else is around like 2400, 2600 or so. So yeah, this is it's gonna be pretty neat. I believe it's 2 swings as well, if I'm not mistaken, but we'll go down that once we go over the skills. Jumping down to the sub-weapon line of things, it has Vulcans in its shield there. They do come out pretty dang fast. 180 base power, 30 rounds in the magazine capacity, and an effective range of 150 meters. Now, 8-second reload time is not too fast. Well, it's not too slow, but there's not a whole lot of build stuff with this. So, based on that observation, I would say this is definitely a follow-up weapon, something to do while everything else is cooling down and you're trying to get into range or get out of range. You guys can fathom the scenarios there. But yeah, not too bad. It does have a Sea Serpent as well. 10-second cooldown time with a base attack power of 2300. This, as with all heat rods, jams radar. This also topples people. And I believe it also does that with the beam axe as well, which is pretty nuts. This is going to be a knockdown artist from what I've seen so far. And then on top of that, we do have a beam bazooka, which only fires when you fully charge it. 2 seconds, same as the beam rifle there that it comes with. So heat rate very much like the Dom. Bazoon Dom that everybody associates this bazooka with, but this thing has a pretty generous blast radius. So even if you don't like aim exactly on target, it still has a significant amount of splash damage, which still explodes on contact. So this is kind of crazy. With a base power of 2700, 400 meters effective range, and 18-second overheat time. So pretty nuts. Alright, going down the shopping list of skills that the RF Zaku has. This thing has Flight Control 3, which is pretty nutty. It's gonna be one of those aggressive suits, or yeah, I definitely see this as an aggressive suit for sure. Flight Control definitely helps out a lot with those aerial acrobatics. But then don't let us stop there, because you also have anti-blast as well in case of those opportunities that present itself. And back at level 2, MA1, Force Injector 3, which is already that's pretty crazy. I would have expected to at least have MA2, but MA3, that's a eye-opener there. Radar, melee combo controller, frontline support 2, so this is definitely something you probably want to have on your team. It also comes with flat booster as well, so yeah, tying that in with Flight Control 3 is gonna be nutty. And then you also have a Pursuit Range Aux program, so all your range damage will increase by 15% while they're down. So this is gonna be one of those suits that doesn't necessarily have to commit up close, but it has tools to do either or. And then on top of that, you do have a shoulder buffer level 2, which reduces any incoming damage by 15%. I'm assuming this is on the right side. As with most Xeon style suits, that's what they come with. I hate to be that guy that says, oh, this is going to be really strong. As I've said multiple times with a lot of suits that come out. Yeah, on paper, it looks pretty decently good. It's just a matter of people figuring things out and how it handles everybody else. But I can see that this might get focused, I would say, a good amount by the supports that are out there if they are aware of what this thing can do. But at the same time, skill-wise, it has a lot to offer. I will say that it is very unfortunate that you can't throw a commander's horn on there. I know a lot of the games, or at least the game that features this, that I've seen this, doesn't allow it on there, or they never had it, but it would be kind of nice. Also, it doesn't have any sort of decals to go along with it and add to that Oldsmobile Army lore there. Alright folks, with that said, that concludes tonight's episode of GNN. Hopefully you guys found this informative, but I'm really curious what you guys think about the new suit, or what you guys think about the new level 2 Metal Spider, which it's nice, but it does have a lot going going against it rather, sorry. But based on what I've seen so far, what do you guys think about what the RF Zaku brings to the table? It's a very neat looking suit, which I would say looks certainly a lot better than a lot of the illustrations out there, maybe even some of the old Super Nintendo SNES sprites that you might have seen. But either way, I guess we're all gonna figure out, you know, what this thing can do. It's like the little engine that could. So with that said, hopefully you guys can hit that like button, and I will see you guys all on the next video. Take care.